Hey book friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my February TBR video. And so I am so excited to share the books that are on my potential pile for the month. I have some books that I need to get to, but a lot of the others I'm just in the mood for. So let's just hop in. Let's hop into my plans for February. So hi, my name is Angie. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. Again, I'm talking all about the books I want to read in February. You guys, it's going to be a good month. Let's start with some books that I need to read. So they're kind of obligation books, although I don't like using that term. I feel like I'm really excited about these books, but they are on my list and I do need to get them done in February. So we're going to start with the book that is part of my reading challenge for February. So I will link my reading challenge down below. There's a Discord group, there's some prompts. In February, the prompt is a book that you have bought secondhand. So it's a very broad prompt. On the Discord, we tend to give each other recommendations as well as talk about what we're reading. And it's really fun. It's a fun community. This year, I also added kind of a buddy reading aspect. So what I'm planning on reading, which you can join me for, is this book. And so I realize this is the second book in a series. Yes, I know that, but it's what I want to read. And I feel like this buddy reading situation goes better if I'm scheduling it around things I'm planning on reading instead of trying to like come up with books that everybody wants to read. I don't know. That sounds kind of selfish, but I hope you want to join me because this is the second book in the David Bad trilogy. It's called The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. So I read the first one last fall, I think, and I just need to get back into it. It's about this girl named Nari in kind of historical Egypt, Cairo time frame. Not exactly sure when, but I believe she's like an orphan con artist sort of character, accidentally summons a jinn warrior, and the story goes from there. It starts out really fast paced. You're just learning thing after thing after thing. And then she gets taken to the City of Brass, which is the name of the first book. And things go from there. And then the conclusion to that first book was so crazy. It was so crazy that I was like, I need to pick this book up right away. And I'm surprised I didn't, but I did put it on my list for 2024. So we're going to get it done in February. So this is book 2. If you want to join me, please come join me. You're welcome to just read the first book and then come back to the Discord discussion when you read the second. There's no have to do anything at any time, but I would love to have you. The next book on my TBR is a part of a book club for Gwen's channel. I'll link her down below. I'm part of her Patreon. It's a wonderful Patreon. It's my favorite. And the book we're reading in February is No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall. Now, I haven't read any Kate Alice Marshall. I feel like she's been really popular lately, and this book sounds really good. It has to do with sisters, which really that always draws me in because I have 2 sisters. I'm the middle of 3 girls. And so 3 sisters, 2 murders, and too many secrets to count is what this book is kind of blurbed as. It sounds like these sisters kind of had a terrible past and maybe they're all going back to the house in which their parents died. Yes, that's what's going on. And then our main character, Emma, discovers she's pregnant and her husband is losing his job. So she's kind of forced back because she has no other options. And then for some reason, I think her sisters come and maybe they get some questions answered as to what happened in the past. At least that's what I'm hoping because that's kind of what I'm curious about. So that is on my list. I think those are the only like obligation type books that I have to read. Now, it is February, so I'm not too much of a romance reader. I have really enjoyed a few romances though. I've really liked, let me look. The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I haven't read any of her other things. I really liked Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. And so I'm going to be picking up Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, which I hear this is more of a companion book, not so much series related, like you can read them separately. You don't have to read the other one to read this one. But I've heard really good things about this one. And I believe it is about the main character's best friend. So our main character in Part of Your World, her best friend that is kind of still in the city, gets involved with this other doctor. The main character is Brianna. She's also a doctor, but then there's this other doctor. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it really matters. I really like the writing style and the character work in Part of Your World, and so I've heard good things about this. And since it's February, I thought I would read a just straight romance. I feel like I do appreciate more fantasy romance. So we'll see, we'll see. And then the other book that I'm kind of in the middle of, and I'm not sure if I'm finished with this book come February 1st or not, but I'm kind of in the middle of it currently. And so I'm going to mention it. And it is The Wicked King by Holly Black. So yes, this is a YA fantasy book, and it's kind of fantasy romance, to be honest. And I have found that when I'm feeling a little kind of overwhelmed and stressed, my go-to genre is YA fantasy. I loved Legendborn. I read some of like the Shadowhunter world last year. These kinds of stories just suck me in. These kinds of stories are super simple, like the plot and the worlds are not so complex. The characters are really fun. I mean, I will only like it if the characters are good. Like if I like their dynamics or if I like the main character. Like in these books, Cruel Prince I read, and I just really liked the main character. I liked her spunkiness and sassiness, and I liked how resourceful she was. And yes, there is some angstiness, and yes, there's some romance in there, but I like it. I feel like it is a perfect, I wouldn't even call it guilty pleasure read, but it is what I need when I'm feeling like that, because I just don't need like a complex plot. I don't need really hard real world problems when I'm already kind of feeling overwhelmed and stressed, if that makes sense. And so I turned to YA fantasy. This is the second book in the, I think it's called the Folk of the Air series. I mean, this is not a new series. This is pretty old, honestly. But I was somewhat drawn to it. I feel like I've always been curious. I've been curious exactly what this is about, because I've heard some like terrible things about it. I've heard it's like a bully romance. And honestly, I don't think I would go that far. You shouldn't take this series that seriously, in my opinion. Yes, the characters are kind of mean, for sure. But does that mean that like teenagers who are reading that think they should be treated this way? I hope not. I think it's just a fun ride where there's this girl named Jude who is human, and she is drawn into the world of the Fae. And there's this royal family who have a lot of politics going on, and the youngest son is kind of her age, and he's really cruel and he's really terrible, and she's kind of in school with him, and things happen in that first book. Lots of things. And it's just a page-turning, fun, good time. So I'm on to the second. I don't know if I'll finish this or not, but there's a third, so I'll either be reading this or that one in February, let's be honest. Because February might be a tough month for me, because like I've shared on this channel before, I have an autoimmune disease. I get infusions every 6 months and they make me really tired. And so that's February for me. And so I was hoping to pick some just kind of easy breezy sort of reads. I do have some more books. And so I have this book. Okay, I just picked this up. It just came out in January. I'm so excited for it. I loved The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. This is the third book in the series. Granted, I'm still halfway through the second book, which I'm not as impressed with. It's a little bit tedious, and I'm not sure if it's going to end better. Literally, I think I have like 150 pages left. I just need to finish it, and I probably will by the time February 1st comes around, but if not, it doesn't matter. I'll finish that, and then I'll read this one because I just love the first one so much. I have high hopes for this series in its entirety. I really hope it ends well. And the first book, The Atlas 6, is about these 6 gifted individuals who have kind of magical powers, who are invited to the Alexandrian Society to be trained. The only catch is that 5 of them will be initiated and 1 of them will not. And things happen in that first book, and it ended so well. I loved the characters. They were very pretentious, but yet I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed what felt like was the big overarching plot. Like, you kind of understood it by the end, where this was going. And so I cannot wait to finish it. Okay, I have 2 more books. One's a nonfiction. I'll save that till last. Here's the other book. So this is The Golden Fool by Robin Hobb. This is the second book in the Tawny Man series. I read the first one. Oh my gosh, what's it called? Fool's Errand. It's back there. I read that last summer, and I want to finish more Robin Hobb. I want to kind of read more than one a year, in all honesty. I feel like I'm going to be missing some things. And yes, I understand the character of Fitz, which is what this series is about again. So the initial series in the realm of the Elderling, starting with Assassin's Apprentice, deals with Fitz, and he's back at like 30 years old. And there's some new things going on, and we dealt with those in the first book, and now I really liked where the first book ended, and so I'm curious what's going to happen here. So yes, The Golden Fool is on my list. I want to finish at least the Tawny Man series this year. I'm excited for that. So my nonfiction book. So I don't always share my nonfiction books on here, but this one I am excited for, and it's very specific, and you might just tune out and have no interest in this book whatsoever, but I'm very curious. And this is called Strong Mothers, Strong Sons, Lessons Mothers Need to Raising Extraordinary Kids. So this is by Meg Meeker, and I love her podcast. Actually, I heard about this book a long time ago. I bought this when my son, who's now 10, was a baby. And I was like, okay, I'm in this. I'm ready. I'm ready to be a mom to a boy. Because I only had sisters, like I already mentioned. So boys are kind of foreign to me. Now, I started reading this then, and it was like, no, this is more for when they start kind of transitioning into like preteen and teenagers, and now we're there. I don't know how we got to be here, but now we're there and I'm getting a little pushback. I'm getting some normal behaviors. There's nothing bad going on. I just realized that I think my heart needs a little bit of help as to how best to navigate these years, how best to give him what he needs while maintaining a strong relationship, which we have. I just love him so much, and I love just being a major influence in his life. Like, we homeschool, all these things I've shared on this channel before, but I needed a book that just kind of helped me, that might hold my hand a bit and give me some nuggets of wisdom as I venture into kind of new territory, because he's my oldest. I mean, I have 4 kids total, but he's my oldest, and I feel like I'm always caught off guard when something new happens. Like, it's a new developmental stage, and I'm like, wait, I'm not ready. And so hopefully this will help me. I'm excited. Has anybody read this, or anybody have any words of wisdom for a mom who has her oldest son kind of slowly entering those preteen years and all that comes with it? So I would love to hear from you, please. I'm open to any advice and any thoughts on that, but those are the books I'm planning for February. I'm really excited, you guys. It's going to be a good month. I'm excited to read with you all. So again, please go check out Discord. I'm excited to read some more YA fantasy. I'm excited to read a little romance. It's just going to be a good month. So that's what I have for my TBR video. And if you enjoy these kinds of videos, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you want to. And I definitely have some fun videos planned for February. So make sure you come back. But otherwise, you guys, I hope you are doing well, and I will see you in the next book video. All right, take care.